Hello everyone, welcome to the first video I'll be making on the series where I build a game within a game. My level Reorder, inspired by Zealot, Master Game, and Resident Evil in Geometry Dash. It is going to be a journey that I will cherish and learn from multiple times. But first, let's get straight into the video. If you didn't remember, I made a level back in, what was it, June, I think, that was named Zealot. This was the level in question. It was a top-down game where you had to escape this hotel and city. I really liked this level, even though it never got fully finished decoration-wise, and it was built for the Yo-Read CC2 Pandemonium. It never got finished, nor did it get in the actual contest, nor did I submit it on the form, so it wouldn't have either way. But like I said, I really like the idea of escaping a city, pandemonium, escaping chaos in a top-down Geometry Dash level. I really like the design, and I even like the complexity of the trigger work. Even though it's complex, I very much enjoy building it. However, it was messy, and I wanted to restart and make it a lot bigger than just a 30-second level. Here comes my idea. The idea is still similar, where the left and right control scheme turns the player either facing right, left, front, or back. If I click the right player 1 key, the player turns clockwise. The other way, counterclockwise. You can make a 360-degree spin simply by tapping 4 times. The jump button makes the player go forward. The 2 side buttons for player 2, the map and closing the map, and the second player jump button, the shooting. This is how I made it. I first made 2 toggle triggers that were touch triggered on both sides where the player could activate it. When the player activates said trigger, they will, trigger the trigger. And then the trigger will teleport them back into with the teleport portal and the stuff on top, and the shooting or the same thing with the jumping, and then ran out of air there. Simply put, the control scheme is pretty much as easy as I could have made it. Of course, I'm going to explain it in the beginning of the level. Don't worry about it. It's going to be explained. Just let's go to the next part. As I was building the level, though, I realized something big. It's going to be really hard to make enemies in this game. Why is that? As you can see on the video on screen, the normal Geometry Dash cube has a hitbox. It reacts to whatever you bump it up against. Spikes kill you. Blocks you either jump on or kills you. Passable blocks you fade through. Very easy to understand. That's complete Geometry Dash logic. That's how the game works. However, it becomes a problem. It really becomes a problem when the player you're actually in control of doesn't have a hitbox. So what do you have to do? You have to make your own hitboxes. Make your own hitboxes with collision triggers that either say that if collision block ID 1, aka the player, hits collision block ID 2, then stop motion towards this direction. That's how you make a wall. Or if player hits, or if collision block 1 hits collision block 9, then kill player. It's very, very complicated. Here's a sneak peek at, well, the layout of the level, which I will show at the end of the video. You don't have to, worry. I have to automatically put collision blocks for every single one of those layout blocks, those hitbox blocks you see on screen. If I didn't put any collision blocks, the player would simply fade through the wall or not die to any enemies. I am yet to add enemies because it is way harder than I anticipated. You have to somehow make enemies follow you, which is pretty much not possible in Geometry Dash at all, especially in a player 2. I'm still trying to figure this out. Please excuse me. Alright. Anyways, let's get to the next part and issue. I didn't realize how big this project would be. I knew it was going to be big, not this big. I was prepared to spend 24 hours on the layout. No. I spent 5 hours alone on the first part. The first map, figuring out all the collisions and stuff. I spent an additional 10 hours executing the actual layout for the hotel section. That's 15 hours for one section. I can't handle that. So, instead of actually building out the whole layout for a video, I'll only be building this one part. This one singular part. The hotel part. And then decorating it, putting enemies in it, polishing it. Then, building the second part, aka the actual level of it, the actual city. Decorating it, polishing it. Then the lab, decorating, polishing, and miscellaneous stuff. Decorating that, polishing. Here is a overview of all of the parts of Chapter 1, the hotel. This is the actual starting place, the starting area, the actual hotel room. There will be, well, the room you spawn in, and 3 other rooms. One room that you cannot unlock yet, but you will be able to backtrack. It is the room directly in front of your room, so if you head out that door and you go straight up, you'll hit that room. You'll get a message. This door is locked. You need to find a key. Locked from the other side. And the other 2 rooms on the right are completely locked and blocked. There is also a fire escape where you can go up to the next level, which is the last room for the hotel section. The next part of the hotel chapter is this big lounge area, this lobby area. You have the waiting area up there. There's a front desk with a key on it to go to the basement. There's a breakfast area. There's a gym area. And the middle box that says save, that's where you are. That's your first checkpoint. That's your first typewriter, if you will, in big air quotes. That's where you're going to be able to save the game. I'm probably going to make it a big round table with like a charcuterie board on it. Just overall really welcoming for the hotel. And on the bottom will obviously be a barricaded main entrance. So that's part 2 of Chapter 1, Hotel. Part 3 of Chapter 1, the hotel, is the basement / the chambers. This is where all the mechanical things will be in the hotel. Once you find the key in the receptionist desk, then you head down into the basement. You'll have to unlock and do a little puzzle for unlocking the star door and the circle door. And the last chamber up here on top, where there's a big empty space, will be a bunch of enemies that you have to pretty much eradicate for you to go into that small little chamber above the player right there on the top left, where you will have an option to climb into a vent into the area that is the second floor, which, if we look back, was the room that was previously locked. Now, once you get out of that room, get a key from that room, go through the fire escape, you go into the boss room. Now, the boss room, obviously, there's going to be a save area right in front of you. There's going to be 2 rooms where you have to unlock the door, and you'll be able to fight the boss. This is like the penthouse area, and after you fight the boss, an option would be enabled for you to jump out of the window in order for you to progress into Chapter 2, which is going to be built in a future date. Chapter 2 is the street area, as I talked about, and, well, I'm not going to be building the layout of it, and the next video will be focusing on decorating and polishing Hotel Section Chapter 1.